Have you ever finished a shower and still felt like something was missing? Not on your skin, but inside. That strange feeling that even though you've gone through the motions, your body isn't quite as refreshed as it used to feel? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. As we age, our bodies change in ways we don't always notice right away, especially when it comes to hygiene. And there's one surprising body part that, if neglected, could quietly undermine your health over time. Now, I know this might sound dramatic, but trust me, what we're about to talk about isn't just about staying clean. It's about protecting your comfort, your independence, and yes, your long-term well-being. So let's sit down, relax, and have an honest, down-to-earth conversation about something that could make a real difference in your everyday health. Washing your feet. Really washing them. Every day, after age 60. Now, before you chuckle or think, "Oh, come on, I've been showering my whole life," hear me out. There's a big difference between letting water run over your feet and actually giving them the care they need. And as we grow older, our feet become more than just a way to move from place to place. They become health indicators. And when they're ignored, problems start to sneak in quietly without a lot of warning. You see, your feet aren't just carrying your weight. They're also one of the body's first places to show signs of declining circulation, diabetes-related damage, or immune weakness. And the trouble is, many people over 60 don't even feel it happening. Why? Because of something called peripheral neuropathy, a gradual loss of sensation that makes it harder to notice pain, temperature, or even injuries. That means you might not realize you have a fungal infection, cracked skin, or even a small wound until it's already gotten worse. And let's talk about fungal infections for a second. These aren't just about a little itching. For older adults, especially those with diabetes or compromised circulation, what starts as a bit of athlete's foot can turn into something more serious, like cellulitis, or worse, an ulcer that just won't heal. It's like giving bacteria a silent invitation to set up shop under the radar. And here's what's even more concerning. The skin on our feet becomes thinner and more fragile with age. Add in dry air, tight shoes, or sweaty socks, and you've got the perfect recipe for cracks in the skin. Cracks that allow germs to sneak in. And while a younger person's immune system might jump in to heal quickly, for seniors, the healing process can be much slower and more complicated. But here's the good news. All of this is preventable. And it doesn't require expensive products or long routines. Just 5 to 10 seconds per foot, every single day, can make a world of difference. It's about being intentional. Not just letting the water drip down while you balance on one leg, but really getting in there, with a gentle cloth or soft brush, between the toes, under the nails, and around the heel. Think of it like this. You wouldn't just splash water on your dishes and call it clean, right? So why treat your feet with less care? They've been with you through every step, literally. They deserve a little attention. And when you're done washing, don't stop there. One of the most underrated yet powerful things you can do is dry them properly, especially between the toes. That small space is like a cozy cave for fungus and bacteria if left damp. And after drying, just a touch of unscented moisturizer on your heels and soles can help protect your skin barrier and reduce cracking. Not only does it feel good, but it also helps prevent that dryness that can turn painful over time. Now I get it. Bending down in the shower isn't always easy. If flexibility is a challenge, consider using a long-handled sponge or sitting on a shower stool. Don't let mobility be a reason to neglect this habit. Think of it as an investment. Every minute you spend on foot care today is a step towards staying independent and mobile tomorrow. And let's not forget, our feet tell stories. Look closely, and you'll notice signs of your overall health reflected in their color, texture, and even smell. A sudden change in skin tone, temperature, or swelling could be a clue your body is giving you about your circulation or immune system. So washing your feet isn't just hygiene, it's also a daily check-in with your health. Many people don't like to talk about foot problems. There's an odd sense of embarrassment around it, especially if there's odor, thickened nails, or fungal issues. But here's the thing, there's nothing shameful about your body aging. What matters is how you care for it. Every time you wash your feet with intention, you're sending a message. I still matter. My comfort matters. My health matters. And that mindset is powerful. You might be surprised to hear this, but in some traditional cultures, foot washing is a ritual of respect, not just for others, but for the self. It symbolizes humility, care, and attention. What if we brought that kind of thoughtfulness into our daily lives? What if something as simple as washing our feet became a moment of mindfulness, a chance to thank the very parts of our body that carry us through life? So if you've made it this far, let me ask you, when was the last time you really looked at your feet? Not just glanced, but looked? Gave them the same care you'd give to your face or your hands? If it's been a while, maybe today's the day to start. Now let's keep going, because there's another area of the body that often gets forgotten, but it holds more health impact than most people realize. Let's talk about your scalp. Now I know what you might be thinking, but I barely have any hair left. Or, I don't even shampoo every day anymore, isn't that okay? And honestly, those are fair questions. A lot of people believe that if you have thinning hair, a bald spot, or simply switch to a low-maintenance routine, your scalp doesn't need much attention anymore. But here's the truth. Most folks don't realize your scalp is still skin, and just like your face, arms, or legs, it needs regular care. Not for vanity's sake, but because neglecting your scalp can quietly create a whole cascade of problems, especially as you age. Think about it. Your scalp is the top of your body, the first point of contact for sun, sweat, and the environment. It collects dead skin, oil, dust, pollutants, and even residue from hair products. And unlike other areas, it's hidden under hair, even thin hair or hats, making it easy to overlook. But that doesn't stop buildup from happening. In fact, the scalp has more oil glands than almost anywhere else on your body. That means it gets oily fast. And when that oil sits, it doesn't just vanish. It oxidizes. It hardens. It clogs your pores and becomes a breeding ground for bacteria and fungi. And here's the kicker. Scalp buildup doesn't always show up as obvious problems like dandruff or itchiness. Sometimes it manifests in more subtle ways: headaches, sluggish thinking, tension in the neck or temples. For older adults, this kind of chronic inflammation on the scalp can quietly affect your immune function and stress response. It might sound odd, but your scalp plays a bigger role in your overall system than you might expect. Let's also not forget about circulation. As we age, blood flow to the skin naturally decreases. The scalp is no exception. That's why taking just 2 minutes during your shower to massage your scalp while washing it can do wonders. Not only does it remove dirt and oil, but it also stimulates circulation and helps drain lymphatic fluid from your face and head. You know that foggy feeling you get sometimes in the morning? A good scalp massage under warm water can actually help clear that away. It wakes you up in the best kind of way. Now, I know that daily shampooing isn't for everyone, especially as hair gets finer or more fragile with age. Overwashing can lead to dryness. But there's a difference between overwashing and simply ignoring. If you don't want to use shampoo every day, that's okay. Just rinse your scalp with warm water and gently scrub with your fingertips or a soft brush. On days when you do shampoo, go for something gentle. No sulfates, no harsh fragrances. Think of it like skincare for your head. And for those of you with very little hair or a completely bald scalp, this still matters. Maybe even more. Bald scalps are fully exposed to the elements, especially UV rays, which can lead to dryness, irritation, and even skin cancer. That's why regular cleaning followed by a light moisturizer or SPF is so important. Treat it like the rest of your skin, because that's exactly what it is. You might also be surprised to know that scalp care has emotional benefits too. That gentle pressure from your fingers, circling the crown, rubbing behind the ears, sliding down to the base of the skull, it's incredibly soothing. It's like telling your nervous system, hey, you're safe, you're cared for. And in a world that often moves too fast, that little message of self-care matters. Especially in our later years when stress can take a deeper toll on both body and mind. I've even spoken with folks who say their sleep improved simply because they started massaging their scalp at night while rinsing in the shower. It sounds so simple, doesn't it? But that's often where real change begins, with something small, consistent, and loving. Now let's move a little further down the body, to one of the smallest, most easily ignored places on your skin, yet one of the dirtiest if left unwashed. Let's talk about the belly button. Yes, I said it. The navel. It might seem silly at first, right? Such a tiny part of the body, tucked away in the center of your torso. You probably don't think about it unless lint gets caught there. But your belly button is a pocket of skin, a little cave really, where sweat, soap residue, dead skin, and bacteria can quietly collect. And if you're over 60, chances are this area hasn't seen much attention in a while, not because of laziness, far from it, but because, let's be honest, flexibility isn't what it used to be. Reaching around the waist, especially in the shower, can feel awkward or even painful. But the belly button doesn't stop collecting debris just because we stop reaching for it. What makes the navel such a problem area is that it's dark, moist, and enclosed, all the things bacteria love. And when that bacteria builds up, it doesn't just stay there quietly. It can lead to itching, foul smells, and in some cases, a condition called omphalitis, an infection of the navel that's becoming more common in seniors, especially those with diabetes or weakened immune systems. I've even heard of elderly patients developing something called navel stones. Yes, you heard that right. These are hardened balls of debris, skin cells, oil, hair, that become compacted and form little masses that need to be medically removed. Now, doesn't a quick rinse with a washcloth sound a lot easier than dealing with that? Thankfully, prevention is simple. During your shower, wrap a finger in a soft cloth or use a cotton swab, dip it in warm soapy water, and gently clean the inside of the navel. Don't scrub or dig, just gently wipe it out. And after the shower, make sure it's completely dry. A little moisture in the navel might not seem like much, but for older skin, it's an open invitation to infection. If you've had any abdominal surgeries or carry a bit of extra skin around the waist, you'll want to be even more mindful. Those skin folds can trap even more sweat and bacteria, so daily care becomes even more important. And really, taking care of your belly button is about more than hygiene. It's a symbolic act, caring for the literal center of your body. It might be a tiny area, but it connects you to your past, your birth, your life force. Isn't that worth 5 seconds of your day? There's one more body part I want to talk about today, one that's even more prone to being overlooked, but holds serious health consequences when ignored. We've already talked about the scalp and belly button, two areas that quietly collect dirt and bacteria without much notice. But there's another part of the body, especially for older women, and yes, some men too, that often flies under the radar until it causes serious discomfort. It's the underbreast area. Now, this might feel like an awkward topic to bring up, but it's an important one. As we age, our skin naturally loses elasticity. Gravity does its thing, and the area beneath the breasts can become more folded, warmer, and prone to trapping sweat. That creates the perfect environment for irritation, rashes, and even fungal infections, issues that are not only uncomfortable but can become chronic if left untreated. This happens for several reasons. First, the skin under the breast is thinner and more sensitive than you might realize. It's often covered by bras or tight-fitting clothes, which trap moisture and reduce airflow. That sweat, combined with the friction from fabric, becomes a breeding ground for bacteria and fungi. And because it's a place that isn't easy to see in the mirror, problems can start and go unnoticed for a long time, until they're already painful. If you've ever felt an itch or noticed redness under the breast, that's a sign the skin is overwhelmed. And the condition has a name: intertrigo. It might start as a light rash or soreness, but if ignored, it can progress to open sores, cracking skin, or deep fungal infections that take weeks or even months to heal. Women who've gone through weight changes, breast surgeries, or just the natural process of aging are especially prone to this. Men with larger chests can experience it too, though they often don't realize it until there's an odor or persistent rash that won't go away. And let's be real, this isn't something people often talk about at the dinner table. But that silence doesn't make the problem any less real. The good news? It's incredibly easy to prevent with just a few seconds of attention each day. When you're in the shower, gently lift the breast and wash underneath using warm water and mild soap. Don't rush it. Give that area the same care you would give your face. After rinsing, pat it dry completely. I can't stress that enough, completely dry. Even a small trace of moisture left behind can restart the irritation cycle all over again. If you tend to sweat more in that area or live in a warm, humid climate, consider using a bit of talc-free body powder or cornstarch afterward. Some people also use a soft cotton pad tucked under the breast for extra airflow during the day. And of course, wear breathable bras. preferably cotton or moisture-wicking fabric. You'll be surprised how much difference that can make in keeping the skin cool and dry. What's often overlooked here is the emotional toll. When something's itching, burning, or hurting on your body every day, even if it's hidden, it affects your confidence, your mood, even how you hold yourself. You might avoid certain clothing, physical activity, or even hugging others because of discomfort. That's no way to live. And it's unnecessary, because a little mindful care goes a long way. Now let's move on to one of the most sensitive and easily irritated parts of the body, one that's often overlooked because people feel too embarrassed to talk about it: the groin area. Yes, we're going there. Because the truth is, this area is vulnerable, not just physically, but emotionally. And especially for people over 60, this is a zone where a lot of discomfort can quietly brew. First, let's understand the why. As we age, the skin in the groin area becomes more delicate. There are more folds, less muscle tone, and often more moisture due to incontinence or long periods of sitting. Tight clothing, lack of airflow, or simply not cleaning properly can lead to common but troublesome issues like jock itch, yeast infections, folliculitis, or even painful skin breakdown. And many of these issues start small. A little redness here, a little itch there. Nothing worth mentioning, right? But in older adults, that little issue can quickly turn into a bigger one. Because once the skin barrier is broken, healing becomes much slower. The body's natural defenses aren't as fast or as strong as they used to be. And since the groin area is close to lymph nodes and major blood vessels, even a small infection can spread quickly. This isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to remind you that care matters. Just like you wouldn't ignore a cut on your hand or a sore on your foot, don't ignore irritation in this part of your body. In fact, treat it with even more tenderness and attention. Daily cleaning is key, and it should be gentle. Use warm water and a mild, unscented soap. No scrubbing, no harsh loofahs. Just your hands or a soft cloth will do. Be sure to clean between folds, rinse thoroughly, and most importantly, dry completely. A soft towel, gentle patting, no rubbing. You want to soothe the skin, not stress it further. If moisture tends to build up, consider using a barrier cream, talc-free powder, or a breathable undergarment made from cotton. And if you deal with incontinence, even occasionally, it's essential to clean up after every accident, no matter how small. Leaving urine or sweat on the skin even for a few hours can lead to irritation and infection. Another important note: if something seems off, unusual odors, prolonged irritation, sores that won't heal, see your doctor. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of wisdom. You've made it this far in life because you've taken care of yourself, and seeking help is just another way of doing that. Now let's bring it all together. When we think about hygiene, it's easy to focus on the obvious parts: face, hands, armpits. But it's the hidden areas, the ones that collect moisture, hide in shadows, and often go unnoticed, that can quietly impact our well-being the most. And as we grow older, that quiet impact becomes louder. Skin becomes thinner. Immunity changes. Small irritations take longer to heal, which is why a few extra seconds each day, spent with care and intention, are worth far more than they used to be. This isn't about being spotless or perfect. It's about preserving comfort, dignity, and health. 3 things that every person deserves, no matter their age. So if you've learned something new today, or if this video reminded you of a habit you've been meaning to start, take that first step now. It doesn't take much, just a little extra attention in the shower, a few moments of care with your body, and the understanding that those small acts add up. Every day is another chance to show your body a little gratitude for carrying you this far, for holding all your stories, for continuing to serve you, even in its quiet aches and creaks. You deserve to feel clean, confident, and cared for, inside and out. If this video spoke to you, please leave a comment below and share one thing you'll start doing today. We love hearing your thoughts, and your words might just help someone else who's watching. And don't forget, if you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Your support helps us continue creating thoughtful, honest, and helpful content to guide you on this journey. Thanks for being here. Take care of yourself. You're worth it.